I moved here from Portland, Oregon in 1998.
20 years ago, folks.
Yeah, longer than some of your listeners have probably been alive.
Hope. Kids, are you listening?
And I moved here from Portland, Oregon, and it was after a really nasty breakup with an extremely emotionally abusive partner, and I needed a change and decided to move to the San Francisco Bay Area, and I have never looked back since.
That was George Downs, also known as Woo Monroe. I'm Jeff, and this is Storied San Francisco. Every week on this podcast, we feature drag queens, photographers, doctors, and other San Franciscans talking about living, working, and doing their thing here. It's a way to get to know your neighbors. Welcome to episode 37. Woo Monroe is George Downs' drag persona. By day, he's a San Francisco County Sheriff's Deputy. In this podcast, George shares the story of a chance encounter he had with Marian and Vivian, San Francisco's iconic brown twins. Here's George. How long have you been doing drag?
I've only been doing drag for about 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually that recently came about after my last breakup.
Breakups do
kind of bring out some
wonderful
weird
things.
creative things in your life, doesn't it? Yeah.
I think so.
But it kind of happened by accident that I became a drag performer. Started out as kind of just doing it for fun, going to parties, and shortly after that, I had an offer from a club owner to come perform, and I haven't looked back since. So my drag persona is what I do for fun, but what pays my bills is that I'm a deputy sheriff for San Francisco County. When we lived out in the Sunset, my now ex-husband and I lived out in the Sunset, and I was working at the Hall of Justice. At one of the county jails at the Hall of Justice, and I finished work at 11 p.m. and it was New Year's Eve. This was early 2000, maybe 2001.
Okay.
And it was New Year's Eve. My partner at the time was working midnight shift, so I thought, why not just walk down to the waterfront and watch the fireworks for New Year's. And so I walked up to Market Street and then walked all the way down Market Street to see the fireworks, and it was very crowded.
Did you walk all the way from the Sunset?
No, from the Hall of Justice.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Right. I got off work at 11 and I walked down there and watched the fireworks. It was a lot of fun. It was very crowded but it was a really neat experience. First time I had done that like for New Year's. So it was fun. And then I went to go get on Muni because I was going to take the N-Judo all the way out to the Sunset. And you couldn't even get anywhere near the Muni station. So I was like...
Above ground, you mean?
Above ground.
It was already full that it was coming out?
Yeah, you couldn't get down the stairs because you couldn't even get close to the stairs. It was just it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to take a little walk. And I thought, well, I'll just walk around and maybe come back down and hit like the station down by Civic Center somewhere. Right. And so I started walking and wound up walking up through Chinatown and Nob Hill. And
what was it like on the streets? Were people out still?
Yeah, everybody was out. Yeah. Once I got up past Chinatown, the crowds dispersed pretty quickly. Yeah. Very few people on the street by then. Yeah. Started walking up through Nob Hill, and I happened to come across the San Francisco icon, San Francisco Twins. Yeah, so I came across the San Francisco Twins, Marian and Vivian Brown, and they were just the happiest, most delightful little two old ladies walking arm in arm together up this really super steep hill in Nob Hill.
That's why they lived so long.
Right? They walked those San Francisco streets for many years.
Among other reasons, but yeah.
Yeah. And so I struck up a conversation with them. I don't even remember. I was a little tipsy, so I don't even remember how we struck up a conversation, but we did. And it wound up just being them talking about how wonderful San Francisco. They enjoyed the fireworks, and I asked them why they were out so late, and they were like, we couldn't miss the fireworks, and they just loved San Francisco so much, and were so happy to be able to share it with anybody and everybody, and share their experiences, and I insisted on walking them home because there's these two little old ladies walking, home at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was just like, I felt like I needed to escort them home. Not that they needed my escort anyway, but it was a kind
gesture.
It was a kind gesture, and they thanked me for it. But it was just nice to hear them, like, just be so joyful about how much they love the city. Yeah.
Did you get the impression it's the kind of thing, watching the fireworks at midnight on New Year's Eve, that they always...
Yeah, they definitely made sure that I knew that was something that they did every year. Yeah. They went out to dinner, and then they went down and watched the fireworks, and they walked home, and it seemed like that was probably something that they had done every year of their existence.
Right. I was going to say, future episode of the podcast, talking to the people where they went to dinner on New Year's Eve.
Oh, actually, you know what? It's funny because I saw them one other time at a restaurant. I can't remember the name of the restaurant. Scalia's? Is that the name? It's an Italian restaurant up in the Nob Hill area.
Okay.
I want to say it's near the Sir Francis Drake or...
Okay.
But, so we were at dinner one night and saw them at dinner there, and everybody in the restaurant was saying hi to them as they walked by, and it was like, and they're cute. They're just cute as a button because they wore identical outfits everywhere they went, and it was just to see their matching closets. I would have killed for that. One of the other iconic things that I was going to tell you about was San Francisco used to be home to quite a few gay bars that are no longer in existence. And one of those was kind of a serious, I don't know if you know much about the leather community, but there was a little bit, everybody dabbles a little bit. Everybody has a pair of leather handcuffs or something in their bedside table. But anyway, there was we call it high leather. So typically, they wouldn't allow entrance into their bar unless you were dressed in all fetish gear. Okay. So leather, latex, rubber, some kind of fetish gear, or naked.
Whereas, what is the opposite of high leather?
Well, like the leather, what we consider leather bars today, like the Eagle, the Lone Star, the Powerhouse. I mean, they have alternative style drag shows there, things like a drag queen would have never been allowed in the loading dock. It was rare that they would allow somebody in jeans, right? And they would have to be 501s and skin tight. They had very, very high expectations for the look that they wanted to portray, that they wanted their patrons to portray. Okay. It was very Tom of Finland, that persona of like leather masculinity, Tom of Finland look. What was funny was you walked in and everybody is head to toe in leather, but they were all talking about opera. But anyway, so I had some friends. The loading dock, yeah. So I had some friends that lived in Oakland, and one of my friends, Wally, his birthday was right around the time frame of Folsom Street Fair. And so him and his partner really wanted to do Folsom Street Fair, like a whole leather weekend, and they weren't really into the leather scene, but we went out and got them some leather and took them out. We went to Powerhouse, and then we took them to the loading dock for them to, the night before Folsom Street Fair, to kind of expose them to the whole leather scene. And it's the kind of bar when you walk in, everybody's very quiet, little conversations whispering in the corner, and lots of people cruising each other, eye contact and little handsy grabsy here and there, things like that. Most of the people are drinking either whiskey or beer. It's primarily what they served at the bar. Mm-hmm. So that kind of environment. We walked in and we made our way up to the upper balcony, like that overlooks the second floor, that kind of overlooks the bar. And Wally and I decided we were going to go back down to the bar and get another drink. Okay. And I left his partner and my partner at the time up on the balcony, and they were watching. And Wally and I went down to the bar, and Wally was a clothing designer, very flamboyant, very outspoken,
socially gregarious.
Very gregarious, yes, very gregarious. And had a kind of a little southern twang to his voice, but hilarious. So much fun to be around. Always had one of those little like southern quips in his conversation.
Idioms.
Those little idioms, yeah. And we went down to get a drink, and it was his birthday, so he wanted to get a flaming cocksucker. Can I say that on your podcast?
Absolutely. Oh, okay. Can we just? I could look it up, but I want to hear from you. What is a flaming cocksucker?
I have no idea what's in it. All I know, it's a shot. And
I mean the drink, by the way.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a shot, and I think they float the top layer of it is like Bacardi 151 or something.
Something that
catches on fire really easily. Yeah.
Everclear,
yeah. Oh, stories of Everclear. So he orders this flaming cocksucker drink, and
it's his birthday.
It's his birthday, yeah, whatever.
Is it his first leather bar for him?
This is the first time he's ever been in a leather bar.
He's in his new gear, yeah. He's on top of the world.
Yeah. And, of course, the bartender kind of looked at him funny a little bit, but decided he would go ahead and make the drink. He knew how to make it, so he made it, lit it on fire. Wally went to go grab the drink and hit it on accident, and it spilled down the bar, and the bar went up in flames. And in this high-pitched, screeching southern drawl, you hear, "God damn it, I spilled my drink, burnt my hand, and fucked up my manicure." And it was like one of those record scratch moments where the entire bar went completely silent. And slowly everybody kind of went back to what they were doing, but it was just like that one moment where I realized, okay, we need to leave.
Yeah, like everyone's afraid to make the slightest.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that bar has closed, but it was that was an interesting era. Yeah.
Did you guys do anything the next day
we did. We went to Folsom Street Fair the next day, and that was funny. That was a funny story too, because they had a little black Volkswagen convertible, and we were stuck in traffic leaving the Folsom Street Fair. We had the top down, 4 of us all decked out in leather, and YMCA came on the radio. And so we all did the dance.
Nice.
In the car, in leather, with the top down, and everybody on the street thought that was hilarious.
Music for the podcast is by Otis McDonald, a.k.a. Joe Bigale. Photos of Woo Woo for this episode are by Ashlyn Danielson. Please follow Storied San Francisco on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate and review us. It takes just a few seconds, and we'd really appreciate it. Send your questions, comments, and suggestions to storiedsf@gmail.com. The website is storiedsf.com. Thanks for listening. Check back next week to hear stories from Lily Sloan, the host of A Therapist Walks Into a Bar.